My name is Gaston, and today I'm going to walk you through how you can use make.com to automate kind of job listings, how to scrape automatically, semi-automatically job listings from Otta, and how to and once you have this, then in another video, what we'll be able to do is create a automated resume customizer for each one of these job descriptions. Okay, so let's jump right in. So Oda lists a lot of jobs in the startups, in the startup companies, and so what you do is you go in there, you create a profile, you tell them what you're into, where you're located, if you're looking for remote only, if you're looking in the US, the EU, the UK, and it will kind of just feed you jobs one by one based on what you're looking for. So to do this, you're going to need three things. You're going to need Oda, you're going to need make.com, and you're going to need a Google Sheet. Okay. And you'll also need ChatGPT, I think. Yeah, if you want to add certain options to it. Now, I do want to add that I am not a programmer. There's a tiny fraction of code that I'm going to use in here, and literally, I went on to Bard or one of the AIs to ask how do I enter this code, and it spat this back to me. So literally, if you don't know how to code, if you don't know how to program or anything like that, um, I'm showing you how to do it. Now, I'm sure that there are going to be people that can probably knock this out in about 3.5 minutes, but those developers are usually the ones that are getting paid, $150, $200 an hour. So I'm going to show you how to do it on your own. And so let's jump right into it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with putting headers in your Google Sheet. I'm going to start with URL, and then I'm going to well, let's just start with URL for now. So the reason why I'm going to say that this is semi-automated is for this one step, and this is because of the way that Oda lists their jobs. I'm sure that programmers could, and even with make.com, could find a way to kind of have it like automatically step through each one of the job listings, but I'm not that. So this is the manual part of the job. So you take the URL in the listing and just put it there. Okay. Um, sorry. Let's take two more, right? Just to show you. And there was only one job in that listing, so I'm just going to take a couple more. And okay, I think three will be enough just to give the idea. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, once we have this, we are going to feed these into. So first, we're going to start by creating a get ranges in Google Sheets. Okay, boom. Now the spreadsheet, select from list. Now I'm assuming that you have a slight amount of familiarity with make.com. If not, signing on to it is free. There's no associated. I'm not getting sponsored by any of these, unfortunately. So signing on to it is free. Creating scenarios is fairly straightforward. And I'm assuming that you have a slight amount of computer knowledge, or else you wouldn't even be wasting your time watching this right now. So once you have Google Sheets connected to your Make account, then you're going to go in here and it will offer you a drop down. And I called this Google Sheet Oda Jobs. So you just search for Oda Jobs, and that will bring this up. Okay. Sheet 1. Let's rename it well, we can rename it later. Sheet 1. And then the range is going to be column A, right? It's going to be A2 through A. Just like the example that they give down there. A2 through A. Okay. And boom. Next, you're going to add another module, and that module is going to be we're going to add a we're going to add HTTP. We're going to add HTTP request. So what this does is this basically has make reach out to whatever website you're putting in there, whatever URL you're putting into this bar, and it basically just kind of pings it. and it gets back an output of whatever that website wants to give it. In this case, I'm feeding it column A, right? And dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Let's leave it like this. Now, let's give it a quick test. Okay, now, when I hit the run once button, what this does is this goes into Google Sheet. The input is everything that I said. So the range is A2 to A, sheet 1, and okay. And now the output, it says, okay, so column A, row number 2, because we started at A2, and is, oh, right there, sorry. Okay, now you'll see that because we entered 3 jobs, there's this one, and then there's this one, all right? Now it sends, because those are the outputs, it sends those outputs to this HTTP request, those 3 outputs, so those 3 went into here, and as you can see now, in here it has, okay, the input was the first URL that we put into this, okay, and the output is down here in data, and it basically gives you all of the data, just the same way that your browser, whether it's Google Chrome or Opera or whatever, the same way that your browser reads the information from the website, and then it turns it into the imagery that you see here, or basically this. This is the information that's being fed into your browser. Now, within this, there's a lot of HTTP code, which is what's needed in order to make a website, and a bunch of other code. What you're going to do is you're going to add another module here that's called text parser. And what this is, it gives you a number of options, but what you're going to do is you're going to create HTTP or HTML. Sorry, I apologize earlier. HTML to text. Okay. When you click on this box, it offers you the option of looking back into whatever modules you had earlier. So for this, you're going to click on the data because you saw that here it was labeled as data, right? Okay. So when you don't save it, when you don't save modules, you'll get this like little asterisk. Okay. So data, boom. Now we're going to run it again. And it's going to say transformer should not be the last module in the route, which is fine. You're basically just kind of testing it, right? Okay, and now it's going to show you the input, which was HTML. That's all this stuff. Okay, and that input, the HTML, most of the HTML is going to get filtered out of it, and the result is going to be this. All right, and this is all the text that you see here. Let's go to this. This is the first one. So all the text that you see in here is what you're going to get in here. Plus stock options. Let's just check for plus stock options. Right? I just want to show you that, like, find plus stock. There. Yeah, actually, it's literally right there at the top. And you see this plus stock options, 75 to 85K plus stock options. 75 to 85K plus stock options. All right, now that we have this for all 3, what we're going to do is we are going to filter only for the, we're going to filter out of this data only for the job information. Now, the way that I did this, and this is where I was talking about, you have to look it up on Bard to find some little code snippets. Literally, it's just a couple characters, is you're going to go back into your text parser. You're going to match a pattern. So the way that I found this, now let me explain. This is where a little bit of work goes into it, is when you're looking into either the data, which is down here, or you're looking into the text, which is here, which are both the same thing, except this is without the HTML code. When you're on a website like Otta or LinkedIn or Indeed or Upwork, okay, you're going to find patterns in the data, in the way that these websites present the job profiles. uh, and you're going to use these patterns to be able to pull out the information that you need, because even though you might have all of the um, all of the data available, I mean, all of the description here available, you want to use ChatGPT or AI as little as possible, because, as you probably have experience with by now, um, it is not foolproof. It doesn't consistently come out with the same results. No matter how stringent you put your requirements on it, there's always going to be some slight variations. And so, because of that, it's best to find the things that can mechanically be pulled out, and then only use ChatGPT or AI in order to turn what might be debatable into more of a binary result. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So, what we're going to do here is we are going to, first of all, we're going to pull out the job description. Before I do that, let's see. Okay, okay. We're going to rename this job description. Okay, and we are going to pull out the job description. So, looking at the actual, okay, we're going to look for role or what the job involves. Let's see if role and what the job involves is actually found on the next job profile. Hold on one sec. If it's on one, or if it's on two of them, it's on all of them most of the time, right? Role, what the job what the job involves. So what you're going to do is you're going to look in here, and you're going to do find involves. Okay, now, funny enough, on your HTML to text parser, on the first one, it's actually not giving you, for some reason, it is not giving you that information, or it's not giving you what the job involves here, probably because this is part of code. But if you look on the actual raw data, you will be able to find it, or you should be able to find it. Yep, there you go. See? Okay, so now let's see. So what the job involves, and then there's some HTML code, and then hashtag own the outcome, support the strategy development. Okay, so let's take a look at it. We were looking at the second one just now, but in make we were looking at the first one. See, boom, right there. Own the outcome, support the strategy. Okay, now on the other one, what the job involves is as a senior CS manager. Okay, so it's different, but what the job involves is not different on both of them. So now what you're going to do is you are going to look here, and you're going to look for a pattern. So here we have a list, and here you see these are bullet points, and in HTML, bullet points are usually UL, LI. Okay, so LI stands for like new line, right? And that's what gives a little that's what gives a little middle dot. On the outcome, hashtag on the outcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for LI, boom, here. All right, so it's there, just like you see, but it's also all over the place. Let's see where the first one is. Oh, well, the first one is right there as well. No, the first one is not right there. Medical, dental, and vision. Okay, so what you want to look for then is something else. Maybe if you see, what about if you search for this, responsibilities, how many times does that show up? Just once. Okay. See, this is where you have to do, for each one of the websites that you're looking at, you have to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of investigating in order to find where these specific starting points or ending points are, right? So what you want to do is now look for, you want to copy that as I did earlier, and I'm going to go into job description, and you want to, okay, this is where the little bit of code is important. Open parentheses, put in the text that you're looking for, then period and um, asterisk. Okay, close parentheses, and what you're going to do is now you're going to test it. Let me just check. Oh, and also you're going to put where you want it to search for that. Okay, so the text that you want it to search for that in, which is data right here. Okay, so now we're going to run this again. Yeah, run anyway. Okay, now we're going to click on this. Take a look. Okay, that's the input. It's giving me the input, but not the output. Okay. A little, I've done this earlier, but I want to just take this out and give it to you straight up. I want to show you actually as we're walking through how to do it. Why is that not giving me? Let's see. I have notes down here. Let's try it without the parentheses. Run it again. Okay. It's only giving us input. Okay, let's look into the text parser for a minute. Output. Where does the job description start? Okay. And reload. Medical, dental, blah, blah, blah. You have to dig in there sometimes. Okay, so just bear with me. I will fast forward through the waiting part. Okay, but this is just to give you an idea of how long it actually takes. But once you have this, then you can use it for hundreds of job applications. Or whether you're using it on Otta for jobs, or you're using it to find leads, or you're using it to scrape data from Amazon or from eBay or something like that. It's just about spending the time earlier, getting what you need out of it, and then figuring out the puzzle. And then after that, you're good to go, unless they change the website layout somehow, which happens sometimes. So, dun, 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 dun. Okay, now let's see. Hold on. It starts off with medical. Okay, the reason why I'm just typing in UL right here is because, yes, it comes up 5 times, but it seems to be that this is where the job starts. Medical, dental, and vision. Okay, medical, dental, and vision. Okay, so we're going to start it off here. So let's do this. No, let's run it like that, but I think I should put the parentheses around it. Okay, are we getting an output yet? Okay, yes, we're getting an output, but it's empty. So since I am not a coder whatsoever, I just kind of run through trial and error. Okay, we have an output, yes, and boom, right there. Okay, now we have a job description. Okay, so with this, we are going to add a new column, role description. Okay, this is going to be the raw version of the role description. So the next, we're going to go for the, let's say the role title. Okay, So once again, we're going to add another parsing tool, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to match a pattern. And let's look for the role, the role description. Is it in here? Nope. Okay. What's the name of this role? That is, okay, large group benefits analyst. So let's see. And data. Once again, you're reaching back into your raw data. You could tell ChatGPT, hey, find this, find that, find that, find that. On one hand, you might not get consistent results. Like it could say, you know, uh, the role description, or the title of this role description is large group benefits analyst, which would be great for you, blah blah blah. You're not looking for that. You're looking literally for just large group benefits analyst. Okay, um, so and then it has space dash the name of the company. Okay, this is how Otta is set up. All right, so and I guess that's the actual title of the page. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for this. Okay, copy, and you're going to filter for that. So open parentheses, copy paste, dot, period, but this is not going to be everything. I have notes written down, so let me give you the little cheat sheet because I don't want to waste any of your time. The job description is going to be, dun, 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 not the job description, sorry, the role title. Okay, the way that it's done is, instead of it just being the dot and asterisk, which basically says anything after this, anything and everything after this, we'll take it. Okay, what it is, we have to actually limit it to, what was it? It was space and then dash, right? Space and dash. But spaces aren't counted in parser, so we're just looking for the first dash after that. So to do that, to tell the computer to do that, we're going to say open parentheses, open bracket, um, the power sign. So that, and then dash and close bracket, okay, and actually take away this, okay. Now, what this does is this, it says, okay, starting at this pattern, okay, all the way up until this dash, we want everything in between, okay. This is what I found on Bard, all right. I'm sure that there are other ways to do it, but this is how I found it. Once again, though, we're gonna have to get that out of the data. So now let's test it to see. We have an output. Okay, it does say large group analyst, but it's giving us everything afterwards. We're looking for it just to say large group analyst. So where did we go wrong here? All right, let's delete that. Trial and error, trial and error. Run anyway. Nope. Okay. Checking my notes. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get the actual little piece of code from the title. Put it in here. Paste. Okay. And I'm just checking it against my notes. And let's take out this period. Okay, you see how it's giving us examples down there? All right, now give it a try. Run anyway. Now, let's see. Boom. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so the next thing on the list that we're going to be looking for is the company name. So can you guess how to do the company name? All right, hold on. Let me change the name of this. Let me rename it. Job title. Okay. And we're going to actually clone this. Now, what cloning does is it takes all the exact same parameters. Okay, it's exactly, it clones it, literally. But this time, instead of it starting at this, we're going to actually have it start at the dash. And where do we want it to end? Because remember that was the company name started at the dash. Okay, and then it's going to go up to like that straight line or whatever that's called. So instead of the dash here, we're going to have the straight line. Okay, hit OK. And now let's see. And it's still pulling it from data. All right. Anyway, let's see. Nope. Okay, why did that not work? Okay, why? Because let's take a look at that. Okay, see, it's actually giving us the first dash. So we can't use we can't use this code because it's the first dash. It's not the first dash, it's the second dash. If we give it the code that we give it right here, it gives us the first dash, which is right there. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to look for the company name from another location and see, okay, what's the next location? The next location is right here. And what we could try is, let's try this. Let's try the answer. Okay. No, we can't. Okay. We could just use like that one specific large groups benefits analyst, but that would only work on one of these job descriptions. What we want to do is we're building a system that can take any one of these Otta pages, any one of these Otta jobs, and break it down into bite-sized pieces that you can put into a Google Sheet and then use later on for analysis in order to tailor your CV and your cover letter and email it out to apply for these jobs, right? Or to use them as leads or whatever. So you don't want to use custom information like from. Don't make the mistake of using information from only one of the specific pages to get that initial result that you're looking for, because it's not going to be reproducible. Okay, so like I said, we have to keep looking for Nava and find a unique area where it is. So first one is there. Second one is there, which is the same type of thing. Um, Third one, fourth one. See, these are all the same, right? Dash, dash, dash. We got to keep looking. Nava benefits. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Um, the actual job link is here as well. Uh, okay. The first time we see Nava on its own, it's sitting there with this text in front of it. Now, what we can do is we're going to take this text, we're going to paste it in there, and we're going to look and see if it's anywhere else. Nope, it's not anywhere else. So this is the first time that this appears. Now let's check it across different ones. And I'm cheating a little bit. It's in my notes, but you can do the exact same thing. So V7, organization name V7. Yep. Okay. So we're going to use that here. That, and then where does it end? Data. Like what does it finish with? Okay, it finishes with a quotation mark. So instead of that straight line, it's going to be the quotation mark. Now let's see if we got Nava out of this. It's going to warn us. Yep, let's just ignore the warnings. Ignore the warning. Okay, let's look for Nava. Yes. Next one, V7. Yes. Next one, peak. Awesome. Okay, so now we have the role description, role title, company name. What other information do we want to look for? We want to look for the company website, maybe. Okay, because let's say that besides mass emailing out all of your CVs or resumes and cover letters, but there are some jobs that you really like. So what you want to do is you want to pull up the actual website of the company in order to look into it, because you might get an interview and you want to look at what that company is. So what you'll do here is look around, and you're going to look through the data and see if you can get let me put the company uh, company site. Okay. You're going to look through here, and you're going to, now we were looking at the first one, so let's just kind of see if we can find like a nava.com or something. There might be nava.io, nava.com. Okay, there's only 13 iterations of it, so let's see. Nava, okay, navabenefits.com. Okay, that might be it. Here's one thing that that you'll get with make.com is it will truncate some of the information. So, so far we have navabenefits.com. Okay, that came up twice. So let's find where the first one that came up. Okay, type URL value. Okay, and this is actually the job in itself, right? And then this and UTM source Otta. This is just for Nava to be able to track. When somebody clicks on the link, for the job, if they're clicking on it from LinkedIn or from Indeed or from Otta or from any other website, having and then UTM source equals, they can do, equals Otta equals LinkedIn equals Craigslist, whatever, right? So URL. So this is kind of the same as like organization name Nava. So it's URL value. So what we're going to do is we're just going to clone this. Oh, let's rename it before we clone it. Company. You want to, by the way, you want to keep your stuff as organized as possible because it can get out of control really fast. And I hate that it does this sometimes. Okay, rename. Company name. All right. Now let's move this over. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to clone it this time, and so when we were looking for company name, we were looking at that. In this instance, though, we're going to be looking for, what was it, URL name or something like that. It was Nava benefits. Okay, so URL value. So let's do this. Okay, and we copy that. We're going to change this to URL value. And this time, instead of stopping at quotation marks, we're going to stop at the forward. No, we're not going to stop at the forward slash. Hold on. We're going to stop. That would be a bad idea. Let's just search for that. .com. Okay. No. Okay, that wouldn't be. How are we going to do this? Let's look for benefits again. Okay, 5 locations. This is the first one. Okay. Okay, let's see if same as. Okay, that's the first location for same as. So let's keep that in mind. But once again, though, where does it stop? And I can't even see it in this case. So let's Nava, Bene. 2, 3. Okay, here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. No, Ahref, this is gonna be all over the place. Now let's see. You gotta kind of play around with it a little bit to see if that. Okay, this is the first location where this exists, right? So now let's see. If this is the case, then what we'll do is we'll check it on the second one to see if it's the same type of a. Yeah, okay, just to be safe, let's check on the third one. Yep, okay. So where we're going to stop it is going to be the question mark, okay, in all of them. Remember, I said earlier, or question mark and UTM source, Otta, blah, blah, blah. So question mark is always like question mark, and then whatever, usually UTM. That is all optional information in the link. The core of the link is HTTPS, blah, 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 .io, okay? So we're going to use this as our filter. And then we're going to put in the question mark as the end of that information that we're looking for. Okay, now let's see. Let's run it. That was fast. Okay, and it should work. Yep, navabenefits.com, v7labs.com, and peak.io. Okay, cool. So now we've got the company site. Let's take a look through the raw data a little bit more to see if there's anything else that's interesting. And I'm going to tell you right now, in the case of Otta, something that is interesting, and they don't talk about it here, is they don't say, you know, on the web page, they don't say when the job was announced, and they don't say another important detail is when they're closing out the job, right? I don't know how that works on the back end of Otta. Maybe that's the contract that they have with Nava or the companies that are, you know, that are posting on there. But they actually, in here, they actually give a to from date. So we're going to look, let's see, let's look for date. Okay, date posted, okay? And then you see they have valid through. So just to kind of, you know, especially if you're going to be downloading like dozens or hundreds of jobs and applying to dozens and hundreds of jobs, you want to know, you know, how long they've been advertising for, because some of these, look at this, 2022, they've been advertising this position for 2 years. For me, that doesn't sound very interesting. It doesn't seem like it's a very legitimate job posting. I mean, yeah, it might be legitimate, but they might have like a huge amount of turnover, or they might just have this job available for years and years just to kind of, I don't know, flex and show that they're hiring. So, but anyways, so you're going to take this too. You're going to take date posted. Okay. First of all, let me change this. Okay, this was the company URL. Okay, let's clone it and let's put in date posted, that, and then where's our endpoint after that? Hold on. Date posted. Da, 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 da. Okay, it's going to be, so okay, it's just going to be the quotation mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember the quotation mark, but I'm also going to give another column for valid through. This is specific to Otta, and it's kind of interesting. Okay, and that also ends with a quotation mark. So let's rename it because we'll forget to do that. Date posted. Oh, you know, it's a quotation mark. Okay, and then and let's call this date ending. And instead of this, do that. Okay. Now let's test it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Let's see if the date posted worked. It should. Yep. 2022 06, 2024 07. So this is, you know, somebody that posted a job yesterday. It's much more interesting for me to look at rather than somebody that posted a job from 2 years ago. That if I, you know, if I'm going to be using up ChatGPT credits or make credits to apply for a job, or even if I'm going to, you know, spend my time looking at the company's website, if they posted the job 2 years ago, screw them, you know. And yeah, 0702 from 2024. Once again, these two already seem more valid to me than this one. But anyways, okay, now let's check if the end date or the date ending. So, oh, wow. So after 2 years, they're going to end it, you know, 2 weeks from now. Yeah. That seems legit, right? 2 weeks from now and 2 weeks from now. 17. Okay, it's all different times. So at least if it was all the same time, it would be kind of suspicious, and I would have to double check what I've done, right? Okay, let's update our Google Sheet. Company site, date posted, end date. Okay. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we noticed this earlier. We saw the jobs, the actual URL for the job. So let's. We have to look through it again. Okay, that's. I'm not talking about the Otta URL. I'm talking about. the actual jobs URL straight on the company that had like question mark UTM, source Otta, connect Facebook.net. Like you see all the stuff in here that they have. And I'm sure if we dug in here more, there would be more stuff to find. Okay, yeah, Nava, yeah, here we go. Yeah, at type URL value, HTTPS, navabenefits.com, careers dash list, question mark, GH, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's take a look, right? Let's take a look if this is the actual job posting. Yep. Okay. And then you go and you apply for the job, right? So going back here, let's copy this first of all and search for it and see if this is the only location where it is, or if it's at least the first. And it is. So what you're going to do is, okay, all of them, let's do this. Let's do a search for this. Okay, we're going to visually search for it in all three of them, right? All of them, all three of them, I'm going to make the assumption that I'm going to make the hypothesis that all of them end with and UTM underscore source equals Otta, right? So we're going to look for this across the board, across all three of them. We're going to search for this. So one down, three to go. Let's see. Two. Data. Boom. Da, 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 da. Okay. Question mark. UTM source. Uh-huh. Okay, that's not good. Work. Okay, whatever that means. And let's go for number three. Okay, question mark UTM source. All right. So what is a common factor is question mark UTM source, unless I'm mistaken. Mhm. Question mark UTM source and question mark UTM source. Okay, so what we're going to do is this, is we are going to filter it based on this. So once again, clone it, change this up here. Was that? No, I think it was like that. And then this is where. Okay, now let's get rid of this crap. No, let's leave it just to be safe. Okay, let's run it and see if this is correct. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's wrong. Let's dig back into it. So what was I looking for exactly? Okay, wait, here, let's try without UTM, just out of curiosity. That's giving careers list because, okay, take a look, right? In the case of number two, more than likely this works, right? In the case of number three, more than likely this works. We can even check them. So this is number three, boom, yes, it works, right? In case of number two, it works, all right? But in case of number one, it doesn't. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, because you see number one right here has another question mark. Remember we saw that earlier? I probably highlighted that earlier. So maybe I should put UTM. Did I do that already? Question mark UTM. Let's run it again. Yeah, okay, nope. Let's try this. Let's play run it until we figure it out. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and check my notes that I did earlier. Let's try it just UTM. But nope. I'll show you. I actually, in my notes, I just had question mark earlier, but I'm seeing right now that that actually doesn't work um, in this specific scenario, right? So let's take a look at it one more time. And if not, I'm just gonna have to drop it because it's kind of wasting a lot of time. Mm. You know what? When all else fails, copy this. Go Bart. This is, you know, this is what Bart is here for. So um, I need help figuring this out. I'm I'm matching patterns in make.com's text parser, and I need to um, end my search beyond just the question mark. I need to end my search with question mark UTM source equals Otta. How can I do that? Right now I'm using this, but like I said, I need to include all of the above. Okay, let's try this out. Let's try it. All right. Okay, that's just the input. No output. Did I not include? No, I had that. That's not working. Can you help? Snippet. I wish I had gone to school for coding, but I didn't. So, okay. Okay. But I need the area where I start to be any other suggestion. The reason why I don't, and I'm not saying that this is what they're giving me is wrong, but the reason why I don't want to use this is because on everything else I've used, this type of thing. So copy. Let's see. Input. Nope. Playing around with it. Okay. Now let's see. Nope. All right. Look. Um, in situations like this, I'm just sometimes I say, look, it's just good enough. Okay. I'm not building the space shuttle. Every now and then, some data is not entirely correct. And if you have a list of 300 jobs and one of them doesn't have the correct link, hopefully you're not dealing with somebody going to space or vitally depending on that one specific link to work. So this is where I kind of, open up my skirt and show that my coding is not perfect, but it is good enough. Okay. So 1 out of 3 in this situation is not bad. Okay. We're going to add this here. Okay. Job URL. Okay. And is there anything? Yeah, of course, the salary. Now, the salary is kind of funky. Let's say the location and the salary. Those are the two that we're going to be looking for. Okay. Now, the salary, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, it's a little bit funky. So this is actually where we're going to get to use ChatGPT. So location, let's go back into this and find where the location was. And I think I remember this one being like in the US, it even said California, but Okay, type country value is going to be US. Okay, so copy. Let's see if, first of all, I copied this. Okay, oh, and let's rename it. Hmm. Okay, now let's rename that. And nope, let's just clone this. There, change this to what we picked up on that side, and I believe it ends with a quotation mark. But either way, I want to go back and check something because I want to see where, if this is here. So first of all, yeah, okay, US location, blah, blah, blah. Now, I would like to see if there's any mention of remote here. Remote in US. Cool. Okay. Um, two mentions of it. Where's the second one? It's probably somewhere else in the text that's outside of the truncated page. But so what we're going to do is US. And, oh god, let's just go the other way. It's faster. Okay. No. Okay. US. And it starts with a quotation mark, ends with a quotation mark. And here starts with a quotation, ends with a quotation. Okay. Let's say that's country. Location. All right. And then, okay, now the last part is going to be this. Let's check it real fast. US, US, Great Britain. Okay. Now let's do the salary. Now Otta does this thing where, I'm going to close these out. Otta does this thing where sometimes it'll say no salary given, okay? Sometimes it'll give a range, and then sometimes it'll also give, like, for sales jobs especially, it'll give like base will be X, and then it'll say like 110 to 128 base, and then like 135 to 200 OTE, right? So it'll give like a couple different numbers. And for the sake of this example, we're not going to get too deep or funky into it, or even like plus equity, plus bonus. Look, you're applying for the job. At this point, like, you're scraping for jobs, right? What you want to do is you just want to find the number. So um, because they can be in the US, because they can be in the UK, because they can be in the EU, they can be in Canada, they can be in different currencies. So you can't just look for the dollar sign. Um, so what you're going to need to do, you could probably do. I'm sure that a developer has like a better way to do this, but we're going to use ChatGPT here to help us find the salary information. So I'm going to use my notes real fast. Sorry about that. I just want to be sure that everything is, because we're running into like an hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to go into ChatGPT here, and you can use whatever model you want. I've looked it up, and I could be wrong on this, but I've looked it up, and I prefer to use the cheapest system for things like this because um, you could have 300 or even 3,000 or even 30,000 of these, and every time you run it, it might cost you a fraction of a cent. But if you start running these large models all the time, you don't you're going to start spending more and more money, even if it just little by little. Even with these make credits, um, it starts adding up. It's $18 here, $10 there, so on and so forth. And by the end of the month, you could be looking at like $100 or $200 if you don't find a way to kind of minimize costs here and there. So I'm literally just going to I'm going to open up the notes that I have on this. And okay, so first of all, um, I use 3.50125. The message is going to be to the system, and I already have this written out, but I'll read through it with you. Um, okay, so So what is the salary range mentioned in this job description? I only want the salary range in either dollars, pounds, or euros. I don't want any other text or opinion unless there is no salary provided. In the case, in that case, typo. In that case, I want to say none provided. So basically, I want the output um, to be any of the following as examples: 55 to 70K USD, 36K pounds, or 25 to 60K. So I'm just giving kind of examples. And then I say, I do not want any additional information. Okay, don't give me your opinion on it. And once again, I'm going to minimize the amount of token usage here because you just don't want to be blowing a bunch of tokens on getting a number out of it. So the temperature is it's the amount of creativity that ChatGPT can take. So you keep that. The lower you keep it, the less creative it gets. So the more robotic it becomes. So I would keep that down to like a 0.2. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Now let's run this. Okay, just to be safe. Da, 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 da. Okay, sort it all out. No errors. Okay, so we got the job location. We checked that. Now let's check these choices. 75 to 85K. Okay, it's what we saw earlier in the here. Cool. Um, Beware though. Okay, ChatGPT will not always give you the best, the cleanest answers. So that's why just take whatever ChatGPT has given you and approach it with a slight amount of skepticism. Okay. Dun, 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 the message, none provided. Cool. So this is exactly what I asked for. Now we're going to um, we are going to dun, 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 uh, job location, salary range. So do we have? Yep, we have job location and salary here. And then actually, I want to say complete. And I'll explain why I'm going to add this last column here. Okay. Um, so let's go back here, and we are going to update. We're going to add on one last module for now, and it's going to be Google Sheets. Update a row. Okay, and path, and this is called Otta Jobs, and it is sheet 1 for now. Row number, we're going to start with row number 2. Just to be safe, I'm checking my notes. No, good thing I have my notes. Okay, start with the number. There we go. We're going to go with this row number. Okay, so where it starts. And because you're not always going to start with 2, you're going to start with the appropriate row. All right, so table contains headers. So the URL is going to be untouched because that's the only one that you're filling in for now. The description, you don't have to keep looking back. Okay, description is going to be this. Why is this? And we're going to have to revisit that. I don't like how there's HTML there. Oh, yeah, okay, that's the raw job description. Okay, that's fine. Okay, role description is this. Role title is job title. The company is going to be the company. And if you see right next to it, since we've already been running it, you will see like active examples of how it's been used. The company's site, that's the company URL. The date posted is going to be the date posted. The end date is going to be the date ending. The job URL is going to be this. The job location is going to be this. And the salary is going to be that. And then when it has gone through and done it, you want it to write done. Okay, at least that's what I'll do. And the reason why is when you're going to add more URLs to this Google Sheet, you want somewhere for it to be marked off. Or else what's going to happen is every time you run this scenario, it's going to go through all the same URLs that you've already provided. And you don't necessarily want to do that because that's going to be using up credits. It's going to be using up tokens on ChatGPT. If you want to rerun it, fine, just delete done. But it's good to have something that kind of like avoids it. And I'll show you how to do it in another video, or in this video actually. Okay, so now I want you to see this. Okay, the only thing that we have here are the URLs for now. I'm going to hit run and let's see, let's watch it populate. Boom, 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 right there. Okay, now these are like the core pieces of data that you're going to need to then turn around and create a customized or a tailor fit uh, cover letter and CV in order to apply for these jobs. Now it could be done with 3, it could be done with 300, it could be done with 3,000. Okay, once you get how to do it, then you can just kind of repeat, repeat, repeat. Before I let you go, I wanted to add one more node to it, and that is going to be so that if you've done it, okay, let me check my notes real fast. Yeah, okay. So we're going to add, we're going to clone this, put it right here. We're going to, instead of A, which column is this? This is K. So as long as you're not changing it, okay, and now you're going to create a filter here, label, done, okay. If K contains, let me just double check, done, filter it, no. Let's take a risk and say it does not contain done. And what that does is that should filter out 3 links. So it'll, if you run this scenario, it'll read those URLs that are in column A. It will then check column K, and if it says done, then it should stop these from getting fed into the rest of it. So let's see. 1, 2, okay. So I always get the filter a little bit wrong. Let's stop it. Okay, and contains. Okay, now let's try it again. And now it should block everything. Yep, it blocked everything. Cool. Okay, we can try it again. Boom. And it didn't let anything through. Now, because it didn't let anything through, you didn't waste any extra make credits. You didn't, waste any ChatGPT credits. So this was to show you how to semi-automatically scrape job listings and organize them from Otta. And we can do this with LinkedIn. We can do this with other sites as well. In one of the following videos, I will walk you through how we create a knowledge base of your resumes or your CVs, okay, and then use that to define whether the jobs that are in this listing, so based on the job description, to use that to find whether these jobs are appropriate or whether these jobs are appropriate for you, and if they are, then it will create a custom cover letter and a custom CV based on the knowledge base that you've provided it, as well as possibly filtering some of these jobs out. Like you might not want a job that is not remote, or you might not, if you might not, you might be like a growth marketing specialist and not a copywriter, a long form copywriter or a video editor, something like that. So some of these jobs might not apply to you. And that's what we'll be doing in the next videos. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day. Bye-bye.